tankers, welcome back to my videos. I am Blitz, and today I'm going over the AMX CDC, which is a tier 8 medium French premium tank. Now real quick before I get into this video, I do want to say make sure to subscribe and go into my Discord so that you can send me replays if you do want to be possibly featured on this channel's upcoming videos. But back into this tank, I'll go over the statistics first. It comes with a very healthy hit point pool of 1450. And this tank pretty much has 0 armor, and if it does have any, it's pretty abysmal. So I would really highly suggest to run the hit point buff, bringing your hit points up a total 90 to 1540, which is a very large amount of hit points, especially for a tier 8 medium. This tank has a decent view range of 290.4. That's not spectacular, but it is decent. And this tank has a damage per minute of 2,467. This is one of the few tanks I do not run calibrated on just because it doesn't get heat rounds, and its APCR pen is already 259, which is very healthy. You can pretty much penetrate any tier 9 lower plate, even E75s. So really, I don't find the point of running calibrated on this tank. Gun rammer is definitely more effective. And this tank has 212 penetration on its AP rounds. The damage is only 225. This is pretty much like a glorified T6 Dracula. It is just a faster version of it pretty much. It used to be a bit slower and a bit worse, but Wargaming did buff it quite a bit. Now this tank actually has a very nice shell velocity of 1000, which is very quick, and it only loses 8.96% of its penetration loss over every 100 meters. Now, this tank has a very good aiming time, as you can see, of only 1.54 seconds with a dispersion of 0.308, which is very good, the same as the T57 Heavy I made the video on yesterday. Now, one of the unfortunate things is dispersion factors while moving and rotating the turret make that circle bloom very large, so you will have to wait for your aiming circle to go back in. But you can see this tank is super quick as I am circling this guy. And not to mention, this tank comes with 10 degrees of gun depression, which is very nice, and 20 degrees of gun elevation. This tank's turret turns 46.17 degrees a second, so it's not extremely quick, but it is pretty quick. And this tank weighs 34 tons, which is quite heavy, especially if you are going to ram a T49. I call this tank the 49 Smasher because it really can just ram a T49 for 600 health, shoot it down the rest, and the T49, if it shot before that, is dead. Now, this tank has a power to weight ratio of 35.29, which is probably one of the best power to weight ratios in the game, giving this tank a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour and 20 backwards. Now, traverse speed is 53.46, which is decent. It's not spectacular. And the concealment on this tank you'd think would be terrible, but it's not actually that bad at 22.5%. So in total, this is actually a very nice tank. And you can see we managed to pick up 3,175 damage, only blocking 400. That's just a miracle. He must have just grazed the side of my tank hitting the tracks. 45,000 credits, and that was without premium. With premium, we probably would have gotten around 80,000 credits. This tank has a very nice credit coefficients. I really do like it for that. And overall, it is a pretty good tank. Let's get stuck into that second replay. Now, normally when I do tank reviews, I'll show a clip of the armor, but since this tank is such a weak target, there's really no point to show the armor. Pretty much, if you want to take this vehicle out, shoot it with high explosive anywhere, pretty much on the front. It's like an RU-251, just 5 times bigger. So really, you don't need to worry about penning this tank. It literally has 0 armor. The only part you might bounce is the gun mantlet, so don't shoot at the gun mantlet, but most of you guys do know that by now. Now, one issue with this tank is a very large target, so you will be easily shot, and people will target this vehicle. It is pretty much just like a light tank, so if you're used to running your AMX 1390s, pretty much make them twice as large, and that is what you're driving around here. But the nice thing is that it's such a mobile tank, and it's so quick, and it's got a very nice gun, and I really do like it in general. In these 2 games I played this morning, I played about 10 or 15 games that got a couple 2000s. I only pulled out one 3000 and this one 4000, but it was overall pretty fun tank to run. I've got over 70% win rate in this vehicle and over 60 battles in it, so I have played it quite a bit. It's not like I've only played 2 or 3 games in it. So it's not like it's a very bad tank. And I know Skate Extreme made a video on this saying it was very nice, and Martin Dogger actually thought it was a very overpowered tank. Now, I'm not going to go to the extent saying it's broken, but it is a bit overpowered. In certain scenarios, it can really abuse other tanks, especially like an RU-251. This tank can easily keep up with an RU-251, ram it, take out it very easily, as it's got almost the same reload. It's just a very nice tank, and you can see here another low, just like last game. Boom, shoot him once, he can't even turn his turret quick enough to keep up with us. Boom, and dead. And what's nice is since this tank is just so mobile, you're able to get away super quickly. 4.6 second reload when you do put on that consumable that lasts 15 seconds. And you can see now, I see the Mod 1 over here putting pressure on my T-54 lightweight. I don't want him to die, so I'm going to try and push over here, and I do take the shot for that T-54 lightweight, bringing this Mod 1 down to 1 health. Pop the shell right in his side. He didn't even turn quick enough to deal with that. And now we've hit 2,808 damage. Now I wanted to pop a shell into that T26E4. Unfortunately, he just moved. And you can see that Object 74's accuracy was not as good as ours, as we were able to hit 2 shells into him, and he was not able to hit 1 shell into us. Now I see that WT finished on the lightweight, and I pop 1 shell right through that track of the Object 74, bringing him down to an easy 1-shot. And there is the T26E4 Predator. Boom, shell flies right into the cheek of his tank, right under that spaced armor. Don't ask how that happened, that was just some lucky RNG. Flew right in there, T30 finishes off the 704, and now we have this tank left. And you can see easy shots right into him. Now that is a very easy target to hit, I will say, but you can see the accuracy still does hold up when you are shooting on the run. Now we just don't have enough gun depression to hit this WT. I do peek down here, get an HE into his side, and the T30 is going to tap him just as well. I do miss that one, unfortunately, and that is not going to be my only miss. WT here, and I unfortunately just tapped the shell a little bit too early as the tank bumps up on the dirt, but we do get the final shell in, breaking 4,000 damage. We did 42-42. Which is insane just for being a tier 8 tank. You know, it's very hard to pull out 4,000 in any tank, especially a medium, and the fact that it's able to pull out this number this easily is just shows how fun this tank can be to run. If you are really in love with lights and you do like mediums, I would suggest to pick it up. It is 7,500 gold. Don't get the camo. The camo is quite ugly in my opinion. It just makes the tank look black. And you can get the equipment slots for free, so really there's no point to get the camo with equipment slots for an extra, I think, 2,000 gold or 1,500. It's way better, just get it for 7,500. It's pretty much the same as a T34 and a Lerva. But you can see this has one of the best credit coefficients in the game, as with premium we would have earned 140,000 credits, which is 50,000 more than I would have earned without premium, which means we would have earned 110,000 credits in this battle if we had ran with premium on, which is insane. And we did pick up a mastery. It's not a super hard tank to master, but you do need to know quite a bit of knowledge. This is not a beginner tank. You really need to know what you're doing. You can't just rush out there and expect to do great in it, because I haven't played this tank in months, and I rushed out there in the first couple battles, and I didn't do spectacular. But overall, I did do pretty well, and it is a very nice tank. The choice is up to you to get it, though. Thanks for watching this video. Always make sure to subscribe if you like what you see. Leave me a like, and don't forget to join the Discord. Thanks.